Hey guys, it's Emma Vigling with TYT Politics. I'm doing a super quick live because I'm actually going on Cheddar today, just afternoon around 12:10, 12:15, so go check that out, facebook.com/cheddar. And then after that, me, Jordan, and Andrew are going to hang out, talk politics, what the corporate media is ignoring. So check that out at 2 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/TYT Politics. Because you're already here, you already know where to go. So just come right back here. Easy as pie. Or easy as cake? What's the phrase? I don't know. All right, so as you guys know, Bernie Sanders polls incredibly highly in the country, and there have been many 2020 hypothetical polling matchups that different organizations have done. And unsurprisingly, in this latest one, Bernie Sanders trounces Donald Trump. They also ask about other candidates, and I think it's very interesting. So let me just lay out some of the stuff that was found in this particular poll, and then we'll break it down. So Public Policy Polling did a poll of hypothetical matchups. Again, for 2020, Trump loses by wide margins against both Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. This is interesting because Joe Biden actually does a little bit better than Bernie Sanders in this poll. 54-39, Bernie Sanders wins by 52-39. So Joe Biden is 2 points ahead. The reason that Trump remains at that 39% is because it's a range of undecided voters for re-election. But still, incredibly wide margins, much wider than Hillary Clinton was in polling or is in favorability. But then let's list the other candidates. So Trump loses 12 to 13% of the folks that voted for him last fall to either Biden or Sanders. 12 to 13% of the people that voted for him. That's because both Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders have this kind of populist appearance. I think Bernie Sanders walks the walk a little more. Not to turn my nose up at Joe Biden, but he's made some questionable decisions. Still think he's an overall very good man. But it's interesting that the two oldest candidates that are being polled are doing the best. Yet the talking point that's going to be used against Bernie Sanders if he decides to run in 2020 is, man, the guy's too old. But we shall see. Trump also trails in hypothetical contests against Elizabeth Warren, 49-42, so she still does pretty well. Cory Booker, 45-40, and Kamala Harris, 41-40. That is within the margin of error, Kamala Harris, so that's actually quite frightening, 41-40. But let's just say that Kamala Harris does not have the name recognition that the other people mentioned do, especially, obviously, Joe Biden, the former Vice President of the United States, Bernie Sanders. So she certainly has room to grow. But I will also say that I do think that the American people are ready for a different kind of politician, and those that are familiar with her know she's kind of deferential to the old guard, so that might be questionable for her going into that process. But she is a freshman senator, has made a lot of big splashes, so we shall see. The one Democrat Trump manages to tie against is, Mark Zuckerberg, 40-40. Mark Zuckerberg, why are we entertaining the idea that this guy is running? Like, the people that want Oprah to run, the people that want The Rock to run, the people that want Mark Zuckerberg to run, I almost just want you to just never speak again. If this is who you think should be running our country, you are so wrapped up in a celebrity culture that means literally nothing that you don't have the two brain cells to rub together. I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg is a great businessman. In fact, he is. He created this unbelievable company. Do I want him running our country? Probably not. I want a politician with experience in legislating. The idea that we just want businessmen running our country because now a businessman is running our country is such facile thinking. It's just mind-blowing to me. But anyway, so boom, right off the bat, those should be the two front runners for 2020. Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. They are the ones that poll. And if you were a party that cared about winning, then you would put those two at the forefront. But only one of those guys is being talked about, Joe Biden. Oh, but Emma, Bernie Sanders is too old. He's just too old. Joe Biden, he's not. They're 1 year apart. Whoops. Just because Joe Biden has hair and a megawatt smile does not make him any more than 1 year younger than Bernie Sanders. So that talking point can be dismantled and discarded immediately, right into the garbage disposal. Bye-bye. I'm done with that talking point. Let's not talk about it. So compare this to Trump. By the way, Cory Booker and Kamala Harris's polling against Trump, let's just say with a grain of salt, they are, you know, not as well known. But the fact that Booker is within 5 points and Harris is within 1 of Trump, with him being literally the dumbest person alive and an orange buffoon who couldn't get a health care bill passed that would strip, by the way, that would strip over 20 million people of their care through a Republican House and Senate. Great leadership, deal maker. The fact that they're polling that poorly against him is really not a great sign for both of them, and they should be a little bit ashamed of that. But again, they don't have the name recognition. So by the way, in Trump's 6 months in office, it's almost 6 months, his overall approval rating has dropped to 36% from 42% in April. That is abysmal. Or as Trump would say, it's almost 40%. It's not. It's 36%. His disapproval rating has risen 5 points to 58%. That is crazy. Overall, 48% say they disapprove strongly of Trump's performance in office. Almost half the country says disapprove strongly. That is disastrous. And a level never reached by former presidents Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, and reached only in the second term of George W. Bush in this ABC poll. Almost half of all Americans see the country's leadership as weaker since Trump was inaugurated, compared with 27% who say it is stronger. This is a separate poll. This is the Washington Post ABC News poll. I was pulling from public policy polling before. Sorry, guys, I got a call. Yes, almost half of all Americans see the country's leadership in the world as weaker since Trump was inaugurated, compared to 27% who say it is stronger. But here is the catch. Fewer than 4 in 10 say the Democratic Party currently stands for something, while a slight majority says it just stands against Trump. So people hate... Hi. Sorry, guys. Fewer than 4 in 10 say the Democratic Party currently stands for something, while a slight majority says it just stands against Trump. So that is not good news for the Democratic Party. So what you have to do is pick the candidate, the person, that stands for something. Bernie Sanders epitomizes standing for something. That is what he is about. So, and Joe Biden, you know, people might like Joe Biden too. I'm not throwing him out of the race of, you know, he could be a very competitive candidate against Trump. Obviously, I'd support Bernie over him, but who knows? Those should be the 2 frontrunner candidates. And if you try to say that Bernie is too old, then Joe Biden also has to be too old. Because that talking point is completely dismantled. All right, guys, sorry for the interruptions, but I want to bring you that interesting news. Have a great day.